friends of the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, Japan, leaders of the various Indian and Indo-Japan friendship associations who have gathered here this morning, and dear children. It's a great opportunity for me once again to be present here this morning on the occasion of Dussehra Milan organized by the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh. We have just witnessed this morning a wonderful series of programs, presentations, dance and culture in particular by the children. And I can tell you that it has left a very deep impression on me. I was especially touched by the wonderful skit from the Ramayana that was performed. I was equally touched. By the performances put up by the children from the Bala Gokulams. And my warmest congratulations to all the children, all the boys and girls who performed with so much enthusiasm. My warmest congratulations and felicitations to their parents and teachers, and to all the volunteers who must have put in a great deal of time and effort to ensure that these performances met the high standards of the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, Japan. It's very important to inculcate in our children the values of our culture, regardless of what part of this rapidly shrinking world we inhabit. Technology today has, and particularly information technology, has allowed us to overcome the impediments of geography. The challenge of geography is no longer an impediment to our retaining our ties with our Janmabhoomi, our close cultural contacts with our Marmabhoomi, which is India, with its vast history, culture, civilizational ethos and values. It enables us, each one of us, as we live in our Karma Bhumi, which is Japan, to maintain contact with our literature, with our music, with our arts. There is a saying in Sanskrit, Sahitya Sangeet Kala Vihin Sakshat Pashupuchya Vishanahin. That is to say that without knowledge of literature, without knowledge of our music, without knowledge and familiarity with our arts, we as human beings would virtually be like animals without a tail or without horns. In other words, not a real person, not a whole person or being. And so in that sense it is very important to complete this process for our children at a very young age, for they are our future. And what better place to do it than in a country like Japan, with which we have such shared values. Even the words that came up on screen are words that we share. The word seva, for instance, means exactly the same thing in India as it does in Japan. And on this occasion it is very important, therefore, to recall the thoughts the ideals, the teachings of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, whose 100th birth anniversary we mark today. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay was a visionary. He was a humanist. He was a philosopher. He stood somewhere between the extremes of capitalism and communism. All extremes have this capacity to erode your fundamental moorings. In capitalism, we have seen how extreme materialism can also deaden the importance of human feelings, the importance of human contact, respect for the individual, for it can all amount to simply material gain, wealth, money. Even that is not bad, provided it is put to good use. I have said this before, that the purpose of all education is also to ensure the welfare of society. And I don't mind repeating this in Sanskrit because it is beneficial. I don't mind hearing it many times, and I do hope you will not mind hearing it many times. Vidya dhadati vinayam, vinayadhyati patratam, patravad dhanamapnoti dhanadharma tatah sukham. That education makes for a humble character, and humility makes for a good character. And a person who is of good character is able to succeed in life, even in the task of creating wealth. And then such wealth can be put to good use for the benefit of society. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay stood, as I said, for true democracy. Democracy in which every individual mattered. Democracy in which we did not lose sight of the importance of hard work, discipline, respect for rule of law. A democracy in which we did not lose sight of our cultural moorings. Hard work, discipline are very important concepts, and they should not only remain concepts. It is for every individual to try and imbibe these very important values of hard work and discipline. And simply individual hard work and discipline are also not enough for society. A combined effort is very important. I think HSS Japan also tries to inculcate those values of standing together, of promoting unity and oneness, so that the hard work and discipline called for by stalwarts like Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay acquire a certain meaning in society. Back home in India today, we are trying to do many things. Tasks that which appear almost impossible at times. A vast country of 1.3 billion people trying to reform, trying to move and march into the 21st century and endeavor to educate all our youth and endeavor to ensure that the girl child is educated, for the girl child is also the mother and the teacher of tomorrow. And all education starts at the feet of the mother. And so it is very important to stand together, to work together, even when we work hard, even when we are disciplined. Prime Minister Modi has also called for the nation to stand together. If we stand together, we can face any challenge, whether internal or external. Industriousness and hard work are also very important. I was at the Durga Puja the other day, and Mr. Shamalkar may have heard me say this, but I don't mind repeating it. Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathaya na hi suptasya simhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. Udyamena, industriousness, is the only means to achieving our goals and objectives. Not simply dreaming or building castles in the air. For even a lion has to make an effort to hunt and to catch its prey. If a lion is sleeping, will a deer come into its mouth on its own? No, it will not. Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathaya na hi suptasya simhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. And the importance of all of us working together as one cannot be overemphasized. Can a chariot move without all four wheels moving? If one wheel is moving and the other three are locked, will the chariot make progress? No. Yatha hekena chakrena rathasya gatir bhavat evam purusha karena vina daivam na siddhyati. Just as a chariot can move forward only when all the wheels are moving, so also it is very important for society to ensure that all its people are on the same wavelength, are determined to work together in order to achieve our objectives. And it is this kind of wisdom of the past, of which we have a great deal in India, of the kind left behind for us by our elders, by those that contributed to the freedom of India, by Lord Buddha, by Mahatma Gandhi, by Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, by Rash Bihari Bose, by Netaji. All of them have taught us many things, and it is our duty therefore to share this with future generations. Again, what better place to do this than in Japan, where India is considered a very close friend. In India, Japan is a virtual brand name that stands for integrity, for quality, for goodness. And it is only by working together, India and Japan, that we can achieve the larger goals of sharing our values of democracy, of rule of law, of openness, of acceptance and tolerance with other countries in Asia and across the world. So what I said about yatha hekena chakrena rathasya gatir bhavat evam purusha karena vina daivam na siddhyati, that effort is not only at the level of individual, but also something that needs to be done by countries such as India and Japan together to show the correct path, not only to our people, but also to share our ancient wisdom, our shared wisdom with the rest of Asia, to ensure that all of Asia, in the Indo-Pacific region, all the countries, all the peoples, can move towards the true path of peace and progress. Recently we had the most successful visit to India of Prime Minister Abe, Mrs. Abe. And I can never forget the wonderful scenes that unfolded when the dignitaries from Japan stood in an open jeep with Prime Minister Modi accompanying them, with hundreds and thousands of people in India greeting them very warmly, waving Japanese flags, shouting slogans of friendship between India and Japan. I cannot forget how good the first couple looked in their Indian attire. I cannot forget the image of Prime Minister Modi gifting to Prime Minister Abe and Mrs. Abe the replica of the Sanzaru, the three wise monkeys at Sabarmati Ashram. We in India have always associated the three wise monkeys that represent the great values of speaking no evil, hearing no evil, and seeing no evil with Mahatma Gandhi. But Mahatma Gandhi had also received a replica of the Sanzaru, a replica of the panel of Sanzaru of the Nikko Shrine from Nichidatsu Fuji of the Nippon-san Myohoji sect in the 1930s, when Fuji Guruji, as Mahatma Gandhi fondly called him, had visited one of Gandhiji's ashrams, I think it was the Wardha ashram, and gifted him this panel. And thereafter it became an integral part of our freedom struggle, of Satyagraha, Swaraj, everything. And these values were absorbed by us. These are the great things that we share between India and Japan. Prime Minister Abe also said when we were at the foundation laying ceremony for the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project, he said something which was quite touching. He said that the JA in Japan and Jai, the first two letters are also JA. In Jai, the I is for India and JA is for Japan. Together, the JA of Japan and the I of India means Jai, which is victory. And I think he also ended his speech there by very lustily saying, Jai Japan, Jai India. Today is also an occasion for remembering that our great values as enshrined in the epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana are also being shared with the younger generation, with the people at large. I was so happy to see that HSS Japan decided to gift to many people in recognition of their services and work the postage stamps on the Ramayana that have been put out by the government of India. And many of you may have seen or maybe waiting to go and see the performance of the Mahabharata in Kabuki style at the Kabukiza in Tokyo. For the Mahabharata is also being performed in Kabuki style this month up to the 26th of October. So with these few words, once again, I would like to thank HSS Japan for this wonderful opportunity to be here with you all, to greet you on the occasion of Dussehra Milan. Very soon we will be going into Diwali celebrations. It is an occasion to recall all the good things and to pray for peace and prosperity for all human beings. It is an occasion for us to work together with Japan in order to ensure that we are able to do the right things by our people and the right things by the region and Asia at large. I want to congratulate each one of you and to thank you for sparing your time on a weekend to be here with us all. Once again, thank you very much. Arigato.